What's up, all my lovely gamers of YouTube? It's your boy Noob Saibot, the Universal Gamer. This is my Gamers Tube Cast Microsoft E3 2013 edition. I will be doing the same thing for EA, for Nintendo, for Microsoft, for Ubisoft, and so on and so forth. So I hope you guys enjoy these. I hope you tell your friends about it, put it in your Facebook, Twitter it out to people and stuff like that, things of that nature. I will say this, Microsoft ultimately did a very good job today. They did exactly what I expected, exactly what a lot of people like me was predicting they would do, you know, and like getting rid of their, you know, boring stuff at that first press conference or reveal conference, and then coming out at E3 and showing games. Controversy, they didn't cover no controversy. And a lot of people knew that they wasn't going to talk about the controversy and stuff like that. It's like they're trying to change the subject to something that you want to hear to get your mind off of something, some stuff that you want cleared up. And I'm going to give an analogy because a lot of people like my little analogies. So, and people want me to keep doing them. So anyways, let's say you have a girlfriend and, you know, you barely been going out with her. She's fine as hell and stuff like that, but you really don't know about her. She been doing stuff wrong towards you and stuff like that, and you about to break up with her. You hella mad at her. You about to confront her about something with all these little rumors going around that's surrounding her and stuff. And you know pretty much that they're true because you haven't been denying them. You know, she just been not wanting to talk about it. So you confront her about it finally. And then she says, well, do you want to have sex? Do you want me, after sex, do you want me to do do you want me to do this? And then later on, do you want me to go down and do this and do that and, you know, make you a meal and after that, do some more stuff? You're like, yeah, yes, that'd be nice. So that's pretty much what Microsoft did. It's like, all these angry gamers are like, man, freaking all this freaking always on type bullshit and the Kinect camera gotta be on. You know, what's going on with this and what's up with the games? And then, you know, E3 comes. Halo, you want some Halo? Yeah, I know you like that Halo, huh? Uh-oh, here's some more games. Uh-oh, here's more stuff that you always wanted, you know, to get your mind off of the big stuff. But anyways, like I said, ultimately, Microsoft did a very good job. And when it comes to Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, I will be going down the list of notes I took and tell you guys, out of 1 to 10, is it a console seller or not? So, the first notes I took with Microsoft is the new Metal Gear they showed. First thing, gameplay was on point. You know, when I seen it, the action, the movement, everything was on point. You know, the gameplay, top notch. Looks amazing. You know, you can tell it's a next gen console. I mean, it's a next gen game. You know, it looks real good. You can tell if you really look at it, you can notice that it takes advantage of, you know, the hardware of the next gen consoles. But my question is in my mind when I was watching it, why is it shown at the Microsoft press conference as if it's not coming out for other consoles? So I'm guessing that Microsoft is relying on a lot of fanboys and a lot of people that's stupid, because I'm guessing that they're thinking that people are gonna see that and think that it's only on the Xbox One. You know, the average, you know, gamer between 8 to 13 years old is gonna automatically assume it's on Xbox One only or something like that. Next thing, Xbox Live Gold membership. They're trying to take a note from PlayStation Plus, which is not bad. You know, it's always good to borrow from each other, but I feel like this is a little bit too late in the game. It should have been did something like this, given the fact how long people have been paying for PlayStation Plus and how long, I mean, people have been paying for Xbox Live, and the benefits that you get for Xbox Live really isn't nothing compared to PC gaming and compared to, most definitely compared to PlayStation Plus. You know, because not only do you pay for free online on the PlayStation, you also get this PlayStation Plus membership, which is optional, and it gives you free to play games, early access to demos, 60-minute trials. So they announced that, you know, now they're going to have it where you get 2 free games each month. And in my opinion, Xbox Live Gold will go up by $10 after the launch of the consoles, or the new console, in my opinion, you know. Next thing, next game, the first game I'll be talking about, Max. Looks real cool. It reminds me of Limbo. That's all the notes I took for that in particular game. But it's a real cool, you know, arcade-ish style game. It reminds me of Limbo, but it's more like colorful and stuff like that. And if it is like Limbo, then that wouldn't be a bad thing. But it's real cool, some real nice gameplay and stuff like that. Rise. Hell yeah. And that's actually in my notes. When I wrote it down, when I was typing while I was watching it. Hell yeah. You know. Oh, Max, out of a 1 to 10 as far as console seller, I say it's a 2. You know, not because it's a bad game, it's because you won't buy a freaking hundreds of dollars worth of console just to play this little bitty game. You know, it got to be a game that's gonna, like, okay, that's gonna justify me paying this money at launch. But Rise, hell yeah, looks amazing. You know, feels like you're in the middle of a war. Like, you know, as soon as you jumped off that ship and stuff, man, I'm like, wow. Like, I don't know. It was like, it was done so good, you know, and that was gameplay. You know, combat is on point. And the only thing I don't like about combat, even though I like the how the way the melee was, it was real beefy and felt like you were really doing melee combat. You know, of course I wasn't playing it, but you know, watching it, I didn't like the quick time events. Like, why did you have to add quick time events just to fight regular enemies? I know, like God of War, you have quick time events to, you know, finish an enemy, but like to just do regular swings and slice off people's limbs, like why quick time events? That doesn't make sense. That just took me out of it a little bit. But you know, other than that, on point. Gameplay was on point. It looks like another Shadow of Rome. If you had a PS2, you know what Shadow of Rome is. Probably it was like a medieval game or a Roman age game and stuff like that. You're inside arenas, you can slice off people's limbs and stuff. It looks like that. You know, I think it takes place in the same time period and everything. It's the closest thing to a 300 game, which is a game I always wanted ever since I watched the 300 movie. That PSP game they came out with did not count. I never played it, but you know, I watched the review and from what I've seen, hell no. But it reminds me of 300, and that's the, I always, ever since I watched that movie, I watched it like 10 times, I always wanted the game that played like that. Like it was like a 300, you know, arrows and spears are flying everywhere. You blocking stuff with your shield, you got enemies coming at you and stuff, and you got your squad with you. You guys holding up your shields, you're blocking, you're doing this and that, you're slashing, you know, you're giving commands. Real cool. It doesn't always have to be a shooter for it to be cool. And people are saying that it's a God of War clone. It's not. You know, I was seeing people comments, instant message comments on, you know, game trailers and IGN and stuff. It's like, it's not a God of War clone. I say it's the Xbox version of God of War, but it's not a God of War clone. It looks way different than God of War. It actually plays better than God of War in certain aspects. Not being a fanboy, I played every God of War game ever made except for the PSP games. So I love God of War. I'm just saying, like, just the combat, it feels more realistic. It feels like a real game, like a real, you know, Roman age game, you know. So console seller, 9.5 out of 10. Killer Instinct. This wasn't really a surprise to me, you know. It still kind of tickled me a little bit when it popped up, but it wasn't really a big surprise because so many people inside the gaming industry already like pretty much spoiled it for everybody. Like they kept saying, oh, I wonder what Rare is doing. I wonder if they're gonna put out a Killer Instinct. They kept talking about it. Like you already, we know that you already know about the damn game because you keep bringing it up every time you guys have a podcast. You know, nobody ain't stupid. So I already knew they was gonna show Killer Instinct, and they did. So I don't like the art design. Like, I really don't. And I don't like how bulky the characters look. Like, the art design makes it look like an arcade game, which I'm hoping that it's not an arcade game. I'm praying that it's a full retail game because I hate how some arcade games look. It has this arcade style graphic look to it. Like, it just looks like an arcade game. Like, sometimes you can just look at an arcade game and tell it's an arcade game because the way it just looks. It just has this little look to it, and it's pixelated and blurry type look to it, and that's how the game looked. The art design looked like that. And the characters, I don't like how bulky it looked. It looked like as if you took the Gears of War characters and mixed it with Killer Instinct. Like as far as like how the characters look, you know, like Kano. Like he wasn't, this dude, Kano is thin. Like he's slim. Like why does he look all bulky? He don't even look buff. He look like bulky. Like I can't explain it. Like Kano is like thin. You know, Saberwolf looked pretty good, bulky like that. But like all the characters, when they flash through the characters real quick, like some of the characters, they all got like this little Gears of War bulky look to them. You know, I don't know what's up with that now, and it kind of looks like the gameplay and everything kind of looks like Street Fighter, you know, which may not be a bad thing, but you know, I don't know. I'm not. You know, everybody's saying as soon as this popped up, everybody, oh, I'm buying the Xbox One for that. Like, to me, it's like a 5 out of 10 console seller. You know, it didn't really impress me that much as far as gameplay. Even when they did the live gameplay, it wasn't nowhere near fast like the other Killer Instinct games used to be. Like I didn't see no combos popping off. Even when they was stringing together different combos, it wasn't fast, it was slow. So I don't know. Minecraft on Xbox One. I already told one of my friends, a couple of my friends, that Minecraft is coming to Xbox One. That's a no-brainer. And then when it does, the Xbox One to be able to handle so much stuff to where they'll bring all that PC stuff over to Xbox One so you can do everything that you're able to do on a PC on Xbox One. Quantum Break. Unique gameplay, and it reminds me of Deja Vu, the movie. You know, because I know that wasn't gameplay that they showed. It was a trailer, or not a trailer, but you know, cinematic or something like that. But excuse me. But if that does have some gameplay elements like that where you can freeze time and go back in time and manipulate the scene while it's frozen and you got a certain amount of time to hurry up and figure out some of the clues and stuff like that, that's very unique gameplay. Looked good, but wasn't gameplay, like I said already. So console seller, 6.5. Project Spark, a very creative user-generated game. Like, I can find myself sitting down, creating content, creating levels and scenarios all day long. You know, I will sit my ass, like, you guys know how I am when it comes to, like, you know, like making stuff. You know, I've been on Minecraft a lot. You know, I've been on Little Big Planet content creator, like level creator, and created some crazy stuff. Trials HD. You know, I just like building stuff, you know, and I can find myself just sitting up there, putting myself offline or busy or leave me the hell alone status and just on there all day, like literally. You know, if I was on Minecraft all day, like literally, then I'd be on this all day. Like the stuff they show, amazing, you know, amazing. Console seller, 8.5. Friends list update, that's pretty cool. They're gonna have like this little thing where you can stream together recent players and put them like on a separate kind of like somewhat friends list or something like that. They didn't really go into detail, but some game journalists already did go into detail a little bit, so that's what they're gonna do, something like that. No more Microsoft points, strictly money. You know, they're going the PlayStation route. You know, they feel like you guys are adults now, so you know it's enough for all these kiddie Microsoft points and stuff, and 240 points for this, and you try to figure out how much money that is and stuff like that. No more Microsoft points, strictly money, but they're still gonna have cards in stores like at GameStop and Walmart and Target and stuff like that. So people out there that don't got a card or don't want to use their card on Xbox, which I don't, never will again. You can go into stores, still buy the cards. Okay, Dead Rising 3. I don't know if I feel comfortable saying this, but Dead Rising 3 looked the shit. It played the part. It looked like what I was expecting inside Dead Rising 1. It looks way better than the others. I love the gameplay and it feels like a real zombie outbreak. Like it really does. But like I said inside other videos talking about zombie games, that it kind of misses the mark. It looks amazing, it plays amazing, it plays like better than a lot of these zombie games I've been seeing coming out lately, but it doesn't have the mechanics of building and fortifying areas and saving people and well, it probably does. You know, let me not speak too soon, but I want to be able to fortify different areas and locations and stuff and build sniper towers, turrets, hospitals, mess halls and stuff like that, and you know, and things of that nature in the open world gameplay. Crafting seemed way better and realistic. Like I got tired of the Dead Island and somewhat of the Dead Rising crafting. Like it was so freaking fake. Like how the hell are you gonna put this together, put that together, and make a freaking, you know, just ridiculous weapons. I want like something like real. So when he found a flashlight and a pistol, had some duct tape, taped it together, that was like, I started smiling right there. I'm like, that's cool, you know? It's like whatever you can think of that goes together, instead of holding the flashlight and the gun, tape it together, and I don't know, just little stuff like that, I thought that was pretty cool. Game feels real, I already said that. I love the zombie AI. Like, you know, if they see you, they attack you, they don't just sit there and wait till you get close and stuff like that. You know, the AI was real cool and unique, and it felt like they were really coming after you, breaking down fences and stuff like that, and it didn't feel cheesy, you know. It's exactly what I wanted inside another Left 4 Dead game. Like my imagination of a Left 4 Dead game, it still has that same type of gameplay where you gotta make it from point A to point B, but it's not a straight path. Like there's openness, you gotta find different keys, you gotta do this and do that, you gotta achieve this objective, achieve that objective, you can, you know, bunker down inside buildings, drive vehicles and stuff like that, pick up your co-op partners and stuff like that, and you know, that's what I imagine inside a new Left 4 Dead game. So but Dead Rising 3 is delivering that. And the last thing, driving through zombies has never been better. You know, the driving physics inside most of these zombie games are shit. This game, you can tell that it's real good. I was watching it, I like how the zombies get onto the car and then he was hitting them and stuff, and the camera angle changed to where you can't really see where you're driving, but you're too busy hitting the zombie off and stuff like that. That was cool. Console seller, because it's another exclusive, console seller, 9.9 out of 10. The Witcher 3, which is not a Xbox One exclusive, but you know, they showed that first gameplay on an Xbox One. It will have Kinect, voice enabled, and like they said, it's like The Witcher 3. For The Witcher 3, it's going to be free roam and it's coming to Xbox One. Battlefield gameplay, which is also coming for everything that showed the first gameplay here. They said it's going to be 60 frames per second. And, you know, what they showed 60 frames per second gameplay. And what I got to say about that is stop trying to be Call of Duty. Just be Battlefield. You know, the gameplay they showed and trying to be at 60 frames per second, the game doesn't look all that good. That gameplay didn't look good because it looked the same as Battlefield 3 on consoles. But since it's 60 frames per second instead of like what, 30 or 40, you know, they still got to leave the graphics somewhat the same or whatever, or still kind of down low to, you know, if they leave the frame rate the same, the graphics goes up. If they change the frame rate and make it higher, the graphics stays the same or goes down, or you know, just a little bit higher than the current gen and stuff like that. So it's either graphics for frame rate. So which one do you want, frame rate or graphics? I'd rather have graphics, you know, depending on what I'm playing. Next game, Halo. You know, holy shit. That's what I wrote inside my notes right here. The intro video just blew me away. I didn't know what the hell to expect. You know, at first I was thinking it was a Xbox One version of Journey. And then, you know, this little ship comes out the sand or something like that, and then the little hood flies over. I'm like, whoa, Master Chief, what the hell are you doing here? So it was crazy. They said Halo is going to be at 60 frames per second. The new Halo is going to run at 60 frames per second. But this brings me back to the first point, the last point I just made. If you're going to have it at 60 frames per second, that means the graphics are not going to be next gen graphics. It's going to be a little bit higher than current gen graphics because you're choosing frame rate over graphical, technical, and physical detail. Like literally, graphical and technical detail. You know what I mean? Like the animations of characters, sparks, and little stuff that's happening within the game world. You're choosing frame rate over all that. So these developers need to think about that, and you guys need to think about that when you get happy over 60 frames per second. It's not like you guys got a fucking $1,000 graphics card, or we're gonna have a $1,000 graphics card inside the new consoles. You know, it's gonna be, you know, a decent graphics and processing power, but you know, think about this for a second before you get all super happy. You know. Next thing, the Xbox One price point. I told you guys. That's all I wrote in my notes after I wrote that. I told you. You know, I said it's gonna be $500 to $600. Some of you guys didn't believe me. Some of you guys thought it was bullshit. Some of you guys thought it was too much. Even though I said you was gonna think that. It's a good price. You know, I said it's gonna be $500 to $600. It's a decent price. You know, $500 for the new tech that's coming out. How much processing power is pushing out and stuff like that. It's a good price. You don't want them to lowball the systems and the processing and the graphics capabilities to give you a decent price. I'd rather go ahead and pay a decent price and get the full package than to, you know, pay a low price and it looks good on the outside, but when you lift the trunk up, it's horrible. You know, the engine is all messed up and, you know, everything is made out of cheap parts. So I'd rather just go ahead and pay for it and get it done, you know, instead of BS. The last game I want to talk about, which is the Halo. As far as a console seller, that's a 10 plus out of 10, just because that's what people buying. I mean, that's what people signify the Xbox as, you know, Halo. But the last game, Titanfall. Can somebody say Titanfall? Moment of silence. Oh my goodness. Gameplay looks hella epic. Doesn't seem linear when it comes to the campaign, you know, from the stuff they show as far as gameplay. Okay. A console seller, enough said. It is a console seller. 10 plus out of 10. And I'm gonna also go on a thin line and say this. This is a Call of Duty / Battlefield / Armor killer and Halo killer. I'm going to put any money down that this game is going to kill any shooter game ever made from this year to next year, point blank, period. This game is fucking amazing. From what I've seen in the motherfucking gameplay, from the things you can do, the different ways you can switch up your gameplay, the multiplayer aspects of the game that you're going to have, the different way you can scale the environments, the different weapons and vehicles and crafts and all kind of stuff you can do. This signifies a next-gen shooter. This game, everything I've seen inside this game, no other game has ever done. It looks kind of similar to some games like Section 8, Call of Duty, Battlefield. It has some of those elements inside there from all kind of different games, but it looks nothing like it, and it plays nothing like it, and it plays something like something I've never seen before in my life, and I'm just going crazy. Titanfall. Console seller. If you're buying an Xbox One because, oh, Halo, which is a good idea too, you know, or if you're buying an Xbox One because, oh, it's a racing game, or, you know, you get it first on Xbox One. No, the reason why you should be buying an Xbox One, Titanfall. That's all I'm gonna say. It's been your boy Noobside about the Universal Gamer, and I'm about to go watch me some E3. Before I end this video, I want to say this was filmed directly after the Microsoft press conference, so the after, you know, show, I didn't watch that, so some of this stuff probably was talked about different, or some stuff I probably got wrong, or the developers mentioned more about it that I didn't talk about. So just take that into consideration when you watch this video. This is filmed directly after it ended, you know. So yeah, I'm out. Peace.